Well, here we go again. So Summernats, God, it's 2025.
Yeah.
I got a crew this time, so we're going to get through the hall. We've snuck our way in the back door as we always do. Got Adam and Kylie, my mate Fuzz. Let's get into it. Let's have a look around, see what we've got. Heaps of unveils, and which we haven't seen. So hopefully they'll be a good look. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yep. Righto. Can you believe that, Fuzz? Straight up. So me and Fuzz are the Ford team, Adam and Kylie are the GM team.
Yep. Here you go.
Bloody
Quality.
VL. So it's a pity it's not open. We'll have to come back because I had a look at this setup. Was an unveil car, and the guys have done it very much to HDT spec. It's even got a polarizer, but obviously it's a race car and it's pretty cool. So that's the one I was telling you guys about the other night.
Yeah, okay. It's also that rendering that Aiden did up against the old HDT themed buildings. He was putting that around social media and that looked pretty cool, so I was keen to see this car.
It's got some really high-tech race car stuff under it. But like I said, we'll get back and get a better look at that. Just need to adjust my camera here a bit because I'm a bit out of practice. I really haven't done much since SEMA. Now this one is out of Tasmania.
Check out the display, would you? As well as the car.
That colour's something special, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Someone read the sign.
All right, we got a 1948 Chevy pickup.
Chassis jag front and rear.
Assembly, polishing, detailing and display by the owner. Gotta love that.
Pretty cool stand, really.
It's an amazing
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah, it's fair bit of work in that. Obviously must work with timber maybe.
And steel if the car's anything to go by.
Well,
Check that
yeah,
out.
Exactly.
Stand's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was just saying to Kylie, it's bloody a lot of work. Huge amount of work.
It's interesting if I don't answer these guys, it's because I got a mic and they got a mic, and sometimes they're at the other end of the car and I don't hear them.
48.
Very nice indeed.
Very.
Adam's found a Ford.
Look at that, he's wandered off to a Ford.
He's distracted. He found a
Get
Ford
distracted
too.
by a Ford, mate.
Checking out the exhaust on it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, the way he's got those cut-offs on it, but where he's actually managed to fit that cut-off in.
Race car.
Yeah, but just...
It's got the solenoids on it.
Yeah, but he's actually fitted them where that crossover is, which is pretty much the only spot you would have to fit them. So that was, it was pretty smart.
And if it wasn't too loud, it would be almost legal as well. It's only so many mil past the last opening window, isn't it? For Rego?
I thought it was a metre.
Oh, that much?
Yeah. I got in a bit of trouble with my ute because I dumped it in front of the tip.
So speaking of which, I was going to make sure I give a bit of an intro. So the people that haven't watched our channel before, me and Fuzz go way back in the show car and panel van days and all that sort of stuff. We met in Broken Hill in, I reckon, 78 in the van club. And we obviously had vans then, and Fuzzy's now got an XA GT 4-door and a nice XW. So this one's a W as well, W Ute that he did at home. Was here a few years back. And we've got Adam and Kylie Perry, who people would know that follow me that we did Tailspin together, and we now spend a lot of family time as well together, and they've been building some pretty cool cars. And they won Grand Master in
17.
Wow, that long ago.
I know, 9 years old that car is this year.
And so they got a fair bit of expertise in the show car world, but people may not know that Kylie won Top Denny Ute in
2008, we were the Bundy Ute of the Year at Denny Ute Muster. So our first project Adam and I did together.
with a 1-tonner.
Yeah, WB 1-tonner.
So then they've also got some other toys as well, but they're the GM camp, and they can help us when we don't know what LS1 is or something else is. And
We'll try our best.
Yeah, we can stop saying the red one and the green one.
so this is the real black and white deluxe, isn't it? It's Magnificent. Something about that 55 to 57 era, isn't there?
That Tri-5 era of Chevys are just classics.
So I have filmed this a few times before, and I always recognise it by the Coca-Cola esky, because I'm a
I thought you might like that.
bit of a Coca-Cola collector and have consumed a few litres over the years.
Just a couple.
Now this is pretty special. So this was
This was at Motor X.
Super 6. If it didn't, I thought it should have.
Yeah,
or something.
it was very, very good car.
I can see stuff with the camera these guys can't see because it's a long way in there, but I like the use of texture and colours on this car.
Yeah, the satin finish in the tray area just really ties it all together with the gold.
Ah, very good, yeah. Works well, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
So Vikings Hot Rods is South Coast, just down from us, and the owner of Cobra 400, Damien, was working at Vikings, and probably still would be, except he was cutting down a tree and it fell on him.
Oh no.
So he's not real well, so I'm sure he's watching, so I hope you're getting better, mate. And yeah, he was working in the assembly area. Probably picked up a few little tricks from the Astle design, because he worked with us for 18 months. After we built his car together, he then worked for us when we did Venom.
Stayed on, yeah.
Now, the big guns. The big guns are out. Adam's on the job. What's going on down there, mate?
I don't know, I just saw some pictures of this first thing this morning when I woke up, just on social media, and the first thing I noticed was that tail shaft loop. You can't see it at the moment, but it's all sort of done out of pipe tube work. But then also seeing the way he's mounted that can in the back, and also whatever he's doing in the back there, again with that tube, just tying it all together. It looks pretty cool.
Some incredible fab work, eh?
Yeah, it is.
This looks a bit like when we designed Pioneer Coupe. We're looking to try and win people's choice, as in Street Machine of the Year. We went, right, we need a two-door with the biggest wheels we can buy, with the biggest engine we can buy, and the biggest stereo we can find. And this one sort of reminds me a bit of that, because I don't know how big those wheels are, but they're pretty large. And I don't know that I've seen that big a brake on the back of a car before.
Huge.
My personal choice, no. But if that's the aim, they've achieved it.
24-inch wheels on the back.
24s
on the back.
24s.
I make those 22s on the front look small.
And then it's running a 533 Noonan H20 billet Hemi with a 1471 in the judging pavilion. So much detail. And we've got a power rack. And a few lumps there, so probably a dry sump. Yep, there's the pump. And then the stuff I'm always looking for is up here. All the back of the bonnet. All those reverse edges.
Just fits.
With a bit of a hole in the bonnet.
And we're only 3 cars in. So I'll try and get a full shot of that. It's quite an unusual silver. It's not really silver, is it? It's like, can we do grey but make it look like a bit of bling or something?
Yeah.
It's quite unusual. Righto, so we all know this car, so forged. I dare say they're back to have another go at Grand Champion after the usual Summernats glitches that all new cars seem to have when we try and do Grand Champ. So I've no doubt that's part of the plan.
I had someone refer to Tailspin's first attempt at Grand Champion as a Christine moment. But yep, they definitely have those.
For those that may not know, when we brought the car here, it did everything it had to do, did driving events, and then made the top 3, and then when it was time to drive out to see who won, it wouldn't start.
Yep.
And
Classic car.
when you imagine if you're trying to win Grand Champion, part of the deal is that the car's drivable. So if you can't drive out and get the trophy, you're not going to get it. That's the reality.
Yeah.
We'll never know what the deal was there, but that's how it goes.
They all have their moments.
Good morning, Adrian. Good morning. Mate, you live in Canberra and you've had 3 years and you're still polishing it on the 10 minutes before the door opens.
I'm cleaning slushy off the side.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, from last night.
2 slushies chucked up the side.
My apologies because I forgot it open last night.
That's okay.
Mate, looking spectacular. Just pop that bonnet for me. So I've shot this many, many times and it never gets boring. And a lot of this work's done at home. Obviously it got painted in a shop and those sorts of things, but these guys have done a huge amount of work at home, and he prides himself very much on his removable under tray panels so that he can drive it, and then when he wants to show it he can bolt them on underneath. And it's a super nice car.
And he's giving Grand Champion a crack this year too, I understand.
Well, that'll be good.
Yeah.
That's a good opportunity. So if we spin around here, and there's a couple of past Grand Champions having a bit of a yarn. Morning, gentlemen. YouTube world. Good. Now here's a classic, iconic car. It's a little bit different to what it was when Fuzz and I seen it here in Summernats 2. And I've got a cool story about this car. When we were going for Grand Champ back then, you had to drive out past around Parliament House in the Super Cruise, and you had to be able to drive out on your own steam and get back.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I'm following him. We're in the Burgundy car, and we're going up around the back of the Parliament House. And as we all know in Canberra, if you take the wrong turn, you're going a long way, the wrong way. And he took the wrong turn.
And you followed him.
And I knew.
Oh,
so
okay.
I chased him and turned him around.
Oh, nice.
And it was a race car with a very small fuel tank. I know. Good, interesting information, actually. That's just Owen Webb. So they had a car following him with churns of fuel in case he ran out. But I turned around and sent him back, and then he beat us for Grand Champ. But anyhow, that's just
You did
me.
the right thing.
That's just me. Should never have turned him around. And unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, so rest in peace as well. The Dado.
It's cool.
The comment last year was, whoa, that's very yellow. Very yellow.
Yellow's good.
That's right. You won't miss it.
What's the engine? I get sidetracked telling
I think
stories.
it's an LSA, is it? A War Speed Industries built LSA.
That'd be some sort of ride, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be just wild. Yeah, as the plate says.
Let it loose and let's go.
Now, another car that's had a couple of runs, and I know he'd be probably having a go this year as well, because he had the Summernats Gremlins last year with the fuel pump dropped out for Grand Champ. And Mike Davison's beautiful 54, we were talking to Mike last night, and he said, well, I'll let you tell the story first.
Oh, you were just talking, telling him about we're going to do the videoing this morning. He sort of grabbed me around the shoulder and give me a cuddle and said, let's talk it up a bit and make sure you make it all good. And he ended up, we done the talk and we done a cuddle, and now he's my beer sponsor for the weekends.
So there you go. So that's how you get get a good story on YouTube. Actually, I like the fact that he's changed the stand up a little bit, got rid of all the fluffy gear and put the grey mats under. I think it looks a lot nicer. Very nice car, nicely finished. Another one out of Pat's Restos. Now, red.
Back in your domain, though.
Here we go.
Red ute. I don't know what the go is with utes this year. There's quite a few in the
There is a
hall.
lot.
I'm just lucky I didn't bring mine.
I understand this is, I was talking to someone that had been half involved in this a long, long time. It's about an 8 or 9 year build. And we can't see all of it yet, but there's an incredible amount of paint finish inside, in the back, and it's all hand cut.
This is another Proflow car, so I believe?
It's
Yep.
Both from the point of view of fab work and stuff.
Yes.
But Kylie would very much appreciate the amount of effort in the polishing of all those interior panels.
Oh yeah.
And you don't see it very often, but
Look
I
at
was
the
talking
gaps
to
on
the
that.
painter, it's 3 mil.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't even know how you get a door to open with a 3 mil gap, but
No.
well executed.
Very tight.
I did 4 on the Mustang and found it difficult to work with. I'd like about a 5.
Yep.
And when we did tailspin with the way the doors had to open and the shapes of the doors, we were sort of forced to go out to 6.
Yeah.
But see the back bumper as well? It's a fully fab bumper.
Wow.
Because these had bumperettes.
See, I'm just looking at all that polishing in the tray
I
and
know.
underneath. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Did we work out the bumper there?
No, it's a full fab one, I think.
Yeah.
Because the little curves, it's almost like a, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could always ask.
Yep. So I'll have to remember to come back and get that engine bay. Nice little pony.
With just a bit of engine hanging out the front.
Another Proflow. It's on the rocker cover, Fuzz. I read it.
Oh yeah.
Where's your glasses, mate?
Back in the room.
Oh, it's like in the morning. Have I got this? Have I got that? Heather's not staying with us, so I don't have my keeper to tell me whether I've got everything. And that's very nice. Except for the big engine, I'd say very nice streeter, but the engine sort of probably still drives fine, but I mean, it's not my thoughts on what I class as a street car, but if you can do it, do it.
Yes.
Righto, over to you, Kylie. What have we got here?
Look at a HK GTS. Classic
327.
Holden muscle car. Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, Walton, where are you?
Warwick yellow. Bathurst edition.
Nice paint.
I believe this one is authentic as well. Like it's the real deal.
It's a real deal. Yep, got original glass and all still in it.
Yep. Well, look at the tyres. Even
Oh,
like
yeah?
it's just classic period.
Yep. It's got the show car tyres.
Vehicle authentications on the dash there.
There you go.
Printed up, so not that I can read it properly, but
But it's there.
The original owner's identification out of the book. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Righto. Next,
Oh, look at that, another lion.
another line. HTT PSI.
Whipple supercharged 427 on this one.
Rose gold.
Just checking what's in the Maguire's thing. That's their top 60 mug in the bag. That's on every stand.
Oh, nice.
So one of
That's-
the benefits of getting in the hall, if you get nothing else, at least you've got a pewter to say you got in here.
You got a nice little glass mug, yeah.
Bragging right things. You got one of these?
You got one of those?
Hey, it's an accomplishment just to get in here, so it's nice to have something to show for it.
Everyone's gone quiet. It's like, not quite our forte, but it's a very nice build, this one. I've seen it at Paul Beck's show in Unanderra.
It's got a bit of filigree going on in the engine bay.
I don't know whether you noticed yet, but see the wheels, the engraving in the wheels?
Yeah, well that carries through into the radiator and radiator cap and yeah, front of the pulleys on the
Very big in
supercharger.
the US, like at SEMA and stuff.
One thing I find unusual about this car, he's got one normal door and the passenger side.
Oh, look at that.
Suicide.
Oh, well
done.
spotted.
If you don't like your passengers, out.
Yeah, that's right. You don't suicide door your side.
Your side, yeah.
Yeah, there's a good story on this one.
Very unusual.
It's a good story on this one. They drove this down to Paul Beck's show as well from Sydney. And then I've been watching them. I follow the guys. It's Hoons Customs out of Sydney. And they've been cleaning it up, and I was in the detailers the other day for the drive down. So they drove down and then must have decided to get it judged anyhow, and now it's in the hall. So they drove it from Sydney to Canberra.
Nice.
And yeah, here it is in the hall. And it was here last year as an unveil. And since then they've just been tinkering away. They've added some chrome strips to the tops of the doors, the Fairmont strips. He was putting them on the other week. And I just like the way they've... So this is... He's got the blue XB Hoon. Yeah. Can't think of the exact number plate. And this is his wife's car. Yeah. Yeah, and this one's XA Hoon, so that'd be right.
Yeah.
You're thinking tartan for the van, weren't you?
I was thinking tartan for the van. Very big in the Porsche, Californian Porsche cars. And the XY had was it a factory option, Fuzz, or was it a dealer option?
Yeah, dealer option, sorry.
And they were like a surfer, tartan-y looking fabric. But I think I've moved on from the tartan.
I haven't told Kylie that yet, but I want tartan in our next car. It's pretty cool.
God, here we go. Drop that on me now. Good job. Awesome.
Now,
awesome.
talking about silvers that look like grey, what's that colour?
Silver fox.
Is that? Just must just need a bit of light. It's to get it to pop. Fuzz is more the XW, XY guy than me, but it's interesting, this hall with these big windows up here, you get a really different light in this hall than any other hall I've ever been in, and it makes the cars look totally different than anywhere else.
I think it's the matte light because the windows aren't clear.
Yeah,
They just,
yeah, it's something really different about it. Muscle car restoration. So is this the guys we were talking to at Macca's this morning?
Yeah.
Is that?
I think so.
They were muscle car something.
So
I nearly ran late. We were spinning yarns. I had my ute there, and the guy, I walked out and had a bit of a chat, and he's telling we met at Summernats 2.
Yeah, I remember you well.
Yeah. It really is one big family, this whole street machining thing. Quite unusual, that car. So another unveil car. Big backstory on this one. So this is Sam from West End that unfortunately passed in a major accident in drag racing, and a lot of my friends were very close to that and were involved. Phil Kurgene was very much involved, and he was very emotional last night when he got back to the rooms after being here with the family to unveil this. So this was his original race car that the family have rebuilt in honour of Sam.
very sentimental.
And a lot of people have put a lot of effort, and the car was never meant to be this good, of course, and everyone's just knuckled down and got in and done an absolutely unbelievable job. So another engine bay I'll need to come back and grab, but so even Ben that helped me out with Bosx E, did the signs and all that sort of stuff. So everyone's put a little bit in, and his son and his wife and his father and all were here for the unveil last night. Very emotional night, so part of that big family again.
This black pickup, that was my favourite car at Motor X. It's the one I said I would take that home. I don't know what it is about it, but every time I look at it, I'm like, that's cool.
I drive it.
Yeah.
You drive it?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think I originally filmed this at the Hot Rod Show in Sydney.
Yeah, I didn't realise it's still a few years old already.
Very high level of finish and detail, and the paint, the flatness of the paint. So this was the Super 6 one, not the other one, I think. Yeah. But even the stand, very innovative. So many good cars. and trucks. So one of the things about being in the hall and being judged is that you've got all your categories and things like trim, and if you're doing a pickup you've got no trim, but these guys have done a lot of work in there that would give them points in their trim category that's going to help their overall judging points. And the whole thing about building show cars is having a cool looking car, but it's also got to maximise points. And making things like that look good and work, and that Chev logo, go a long way to adding points to your overall body point score and your paint point score, and then putting a late model trim in. And at the same time, staying within what you wanted to build initially. Righto, so Bosx E. So this car, I did a little reel on this last year in scrutineering that did an amazing amount of views, because he drove it out to scrutineer and it was sitting in the lineup, and I just wandered over while we were waiting, 5 hours I think.
Yeah.
And with young Trav, Fuzzy's lad, Trav had a car there, and we all went over for a ride thinking that we'd be a couple of hours, but we got some really good footage while we were there, which was cool. So she's a driver. Fitzy. So we'll just come over and check this bike out so I don't miss it and not come back. So this is another vehicle out of the Fitzpatrick clan. So Fitz's young bloke. So Daniel goes by Dan by the look of it now. And I love this at Motorex. This is this is a classic. I don't want to be wrong, but I think a bobber.
Yeah, I don't know what sort of class it is.
But I was really taken by the detail on things like the exhaust. Like that is just so pure. And I keep talking about things being sharp. This is sharp. This is like really cool. There's so many, look at the...
True Fitzpatrick style.
See that? The reservoir for the brakes.
Oh,
yeah?
Eh?
What?
You say anything about it?
No, it was Dan's. You need to talk to Dan. He's better.
Of course, yeah, but he's not here, so you're here. Proud dad, come on, mate.
What do I know?
Eh?
It's a 1100 Boulder. It's been modified slightly.
Slightly.
So what is it, a bobber? Is that the word, or is it something else?
No,
What are they?
no,
It's a cafe racer.
well,
What is it?
It's probably more than a cafe racer
Yeah.
because it's been modified way too much.
Yeah.
Dan started doing it probably had the bike for about 8 or 9 years, and he had all the concept that he wanted and got all the bits from it, like the different forks and the pipes and the back swing arm. The back swing arm was made from a mob in England that actually do them for racing cars and race bikes, not racing cars. And it's full billet aluminium back swing arm, and then we painted it.
As you do.
But look, it's £3,500 to buy that back swing arm.
Wow.
So, and then Dan never had time to finish it, so he got Noel from Black Cycles up in Queensland to finish it off. And he painted it and done it, and they basically class it as a Ferrari theme. So if you look at it, it's painted red, it's got the wrinkle rocker covers and the grey engine, so it's basically traditional Ferrari colours.
Yeah. So if you sort of want to say, well,
Ferrari
the
inspired.
styling, it's Ferrari inspired.
Yeah. And there's a guy in England that has a YouTube channel. I forget the name of it. Dan would remember. And he done a heap of videos of it and studio shots. And he basically called it a Ferrari
Keep talking,
inspired
but
bike. And the video is actually really cool to look at. So
Yeah, I'll have to look it up on YouTube.
yeah. All right. I'll leave you with it. And talk to you soon.
we've only got an hour, mate.
Very Ring Brothers, this thing.
So I think this comes out of MPW as well. Some cool stuff on it, eh?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it went through scrutineering ahead of us in the Camaro.
Yeah, I thought so. It's out of MPW as well in Melbourne. So Adam Rogash with the...
Yeah, all right. So to go then.
That's a team that's been cranking some cars out, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Super nice. Very nice XY. Check out that Slimline shaker. I can still get a shaker on a big engine.
Yeah.
So it's sort of resto style, but full gloss. Everything's over shiny, but it's got a nice look about it. Yeah. Righto, hang in there folks, we're nearly halfway. What do we got here? A
J.
HJ.
Yep. HJ.
Read the number plate out, that's always a good tip. That looks like a factory front end with some modified wishbones and stuff.
Yeah,
Nice
this
big
one
sway bar.
was an older built car that they I think changed hands and the guys gave it a bit of a birthday.
Is this the one that used to be blue?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, righto.
Yep. I was just looking at that bonnet catch. It's hard to get a H series bonnet catch to look that good. That's obviously been CAD drawn and fabbed up.
Nice classic look, eh?
Yeah, it is. It's still keeping true to that old Kingswood.
I better go and look at this bonnet catch he's talking about. What have we got? A bit of billet?
Original style, but not original.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the SHP stand for on the LS?
LS, HJ.
No.
No, the engine. Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Got ya.
Small horsepower.
Move on. Howard's moved on to the next car. So what's that, a Caprice front?
I don't know.
It looks a bit of everything, doesn't it?
It does. It has a bit of a commercial look about it. Whether it's just a commercial looking bumper that's tucked in and made that Caprice.
I'm not sure. It's got a real... Oh yeah, I just realised I've seen this before. This was at Paul Beck's show. I think it's out of Country New South Wales or something, Dubbo or somewhere.
WB Statesman front.
Yeah, okay. It's just that bumper's tucked in. It changes it.
I made comment about this when we get round to the back of the tray in a minute. It's all done in satin and it's like really well done because satin's hard to do. It's like...
It's unforgiving when you can't polish it.
Exactly. And like that's a really big area of satin. It's very hard to capture that sort of stuff on camera, but sort of things that always grab my eye. This must be the GM. Oh no, there was a couple of Fords there.
Look at this one.
Look at this one. This
Goes
is
alright.
very American-inspired looking thing.
Yeah.
Know anything about this?
Anyone know anything about this?
Oh, I think I know every square millimetre of this car. I think Howard's got a fair bit into it as well. 71 Camaro RS, started as a rusty bent-up car.
Hulk.
Well,
A Hulk.
yeah. This should have gone to scrap metal. This one, it's every panel's been replaced on it except the roof skin. Started as basically just built as a driver, and as they always do, they just evolve along the way. Still a cool driver. It's a cool, reliable car, built to be 100% street driven the way it is shown. So at the moment, we've got the coilovers wound down a little bit on the front. We'll bump them back up to take it over rego, but other than that, it's got all the pollution gear out of a VESS Commodore, turbo 400, Dakota digital gauges. Those seats, they came out of a Ford Focus RS. We just sort of weren't deciding on a seat, but that was the style we wanted, and without spending $7,000 on a set of seats, we managed to find those. Worked pretty well for the level of car it's built as.
Of course, we had it for 6 months and did a full series on how to go from bare metal to paint, working with PPG. And then Kylie's run a bit of magic on that and made it look a whole lot better than I gave it to him. So it's looking good, and I always knew it would end up in here, but and it mainly just because of their fit and finish, and it goes to show you can get in the 60 and use a lot of stuff straight out of the box. Like I think the rocker covers come straight out of the box.
Oh, rocker covers,
and all the
manifold,
suspension
radio,
components, all that sort of stuff. But it's the detail in the way it's assembled and wired makes the difference to achieve the points to get in the hall. So it's a different version of what we're going to turn around and look at here, where every little piece has been massaged, and it's a totally different look, but you can still achieve the points the same way. So it's quite unusual with the grille painted. All the little bolts and stuff, sort of a little bit more traditional of the 90s style that we used to do. So now they've got to compete with the music, so we'll keep the microphones rolling and try and block them out.
Wollondilly Smash Repairs. I've seen that logo around a fair bit this weekend. Are they from your way?
I'm not sure, mate. Check out that. We'll just build the muddies into the...
Oh, yeah. The front cars are the same. I didn't notice that.
Very interesting. Kylie's pointed out I've almost missed the Voltsy over here. Got a lot happening with this thing.
Here we have the next gen Ford Everest 4WD2, equipped with Lovell's premium touring suspension kit, which gives you a fully compliant 3,500 kilogram GVM upgrade. We also offer our premium Platinum Series kit, which offers 3,700 kilogram GVM upgrade. The touring system also increases the total GCM to 7,000 kilograms, and the Platinum Series system increases the total GCM to 7,200 kilograms, which means you'll maintain your full 3,500 kilogram towing capacity. Your axle capacities are also revised accordingly. The kit also features Lovell's engineered and rated up control arms. Truly a powerful setup, built for heavy duty towing and serious touring.
Not quite your standard Beetle.
Just going to see if we can get that music turned down a bit if we can, but saves our editor doing a lot of work. Talk about big's better. Some ginormous wheels under there. Not sure what size they'd be. We might be able to find out. Fuzz has been on the job and had a bit of a chat to someone down there. We don't open for another 30 odd minutes, so.
I haven't seen wheels like that before.
No, they're very unusual, aren't they?
They're an interesting take on the HSV Pentagons by the look of it. Looks like they've machined the centres out of a HSV rim. And
Oh, so it's a modernised.
yeah,
take.
It's like a lot of people now doing a lot of one-off wheels, I notice.
yeah, that's it looks sort of VZ HSV, something like that.
Now it's interesting, I know a lot of people watch what we do. If you've got a car like that and you've got it on show, if you leave the boot and the bonnet up, the judges can look at it overnight because they're very conscious of whether there's some reason why they can't lift it or whatever. But if you're in the running for an award and they're trying to judge your car and you've got it all closed up, they're probably not going to rejudge it. So if you're building a car to be judged, you need to make sure the judges can see it 24/7. There we go, nice set of Webbers hanging off a 6. Well, he's been a bit partial to some Webbers, either downdraft or side draft.
Yeah, he's
Been
got
a
that
bit
look
of
about
an
him.
early school boy. Because a couple of the Fords, I think some of the Toranas at Bathurst in the 80s ran 2 side draft on a normal manifold, because the manifold was fixed under the rules, but you could run any carby. and I know Moffat ran it, and I think a couple of the A9X Toranas ran 2 side draft Webers into the 4-barrel manifold.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That'll look cool.
That's a nice look. It's just nice and clean, but still functional.
Sharp.
Very nice. Another Commodore with a big set of pipes hanging out the front. There's probably some turbos hanging under there somewhere. Oh, look at the pipe work under there.
Wow.
Watching this come off the trailer, I actually started in the trailer, drove it out and drove it into the hall here. And
Yeah, no problem.
no problem. I don't know if it's a discreet number plates really suit it. She's not a whole lot discreet about it.
Turbos hiding up under the front there. Pretty big for the low slung ones as well. What's the engine? Someone have a read of that. I can't work it out.
A Coyote.
Coyote. 2,500 horsepower.
It's a Coyote. There you go. I should have been able to work it out, but it's in a Commodore. That's why I couldn't. I'm going, what is this engine in this Commodore?
Maybe you've got half an idea.
That's why it looks...
Everyone will say now it's got a Ford engine, now it's having a harder look. Yeah. Very nice. I can't see now, the lights are that bright. Right, another Pat's Resto. I was talking to Pat when they were setting it up. This is his wife's car.
Oh, cool.
And
Not Pat's. I see that on the number plate.
yeah, not Pat's. Yeah. And it's typical of their builds, but Resto, but not. It just goes to show the shop that can build Fords can build something that's almost too good to be a restoration. But he said to me it was the old usual last minute thing where they were still painting underneath 6 weeks ago because they decided to come or got an invite or something to come down, so it was like, oh, we better tidy things up a bit to do that.
We always say it doesn't matter how much time you've got, you'll always use it.
Well, that's it, and then without a deadline they never get finished.
Yep.
They've obviously got a very good plater.
Yeah, yes.
Righto, XY, a Faker GT, I like that. Look at that, Fuzz. Not a Falcon GT, it's a Faker GT.
Probably the only honest bloke out there.
67's have a quarter window.
West End Performance. These manifolds just keep getting higher and higher. I was showing you that big block Chevy out the front. Check out the manifold on that.
Yeah, you were talking, you wanted an air gap, didn't you?
Yeah, there's plenty of air gap in that one. Righto, another Camaro. 60 what?
8.
So what's the clue? 68 to 69. I think I asked you that last year actually, but
68 to 69 is pretty easy. They've got a different front, different rear, different quarters and stuff.
oh, right, okay.
67.
68, 67. They're a bit more difficult. So the green one up the end, I think, was a 67. Easiest way to tell is the quarter window, front quarter window.
67 will have a...
Oh, righto.
Yeah.
There you go. So big block by the look of it. Cool car. Fuzzy's pointing something out to me.
I don't want to say it on here, but
440 Clevo, 1150, built by the legend Sam Fenech. So the legend just keeps on going. He built so many good engines for so many people, including us. I mean, Sam built a few engines for us, for our customers, and West End Performance continue to operate with the family. The son has taken the big job on to continue that legacy and run that business. HK, written on the number plate. Not sure what class that would be in that one.
It's a bit hard to know without seeing the engine bay.
Looking at the exhaust, there's a fair bit under there. So, Mr. Fosberg's car. So I filmed this a couple of times. I think it was finally finished for the Hot Rod Show last year. And the backstory with this one, so Darren I've known for a long, long time. Darren judged here in the 80s. Had a really cool white HG by memory with a small block. And he's had a lot of cars, and it's very much in that era of the Ronnie Barclay feel. You know, it's got that nice, clean, sharp lines. And he's had it a while, and it went to ProFlow and had some work done, bigger wheels and a bit of an engine change, but it's a really classic looking street machine. And he also owns a very nice Camaro that was an Australian import big block, right-hand drive. And it was converted by, back then they used to be shops that converted for the importers. Yeah, so that's on year before last. I videoed and talked about that car on our Grudge Kings video. Now, the VK Boss. Talk about light.
Yeah, there's plenty of light there.
There's plenty of light. So much light I can't see the car. And the camera's struggling a little bit. This might be the, oh no, it's a Holden. I was going to say this might have been the one you were talking about the other night, Fuzz, with the NASCAR, but it's a Holden engine.
Yeah, 304 stroke to 355. So Ford says.
Cool to see a Holden engine in a Holden. Don't see too many of those anymore.
So what have we got? Polished heads? I can't work it out. It's that shiny.
Yellow Terra heads. Yeah.
Another one of those little show car tricks is that, like when we did the stand for Tailspin and Bosx E, we always set the stand up in the workshop and see what the light's like and put dimmers on things and adjust even the type of globes you're running, because sometimes you can have too much light and sometimes you can have not enough light. And the idea is to highlight the car.
I think with Tailspin in the early days, we actually got a whiteboard marker and coloured over the LEDs, just a different colour light on it, just to tone them down.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember back when in my Burgundy car, I used to have red filters on the spotlights to make the red paint pop even more. It looked like it was in the sun. A nice classic build. Set of Simmons, bigs and littles.
But not too big.
So those rocker covers tell me that's
another Holden motor in another Holden.
But that's more a late model Holden, is it? With those rocker covers?
Yeah, they are the late model. They're like the VN style heads.
I know that because I painted a set of those.
You did.
For Tailspin, that's how I knew that one.
They had the billet, the low fabrication ones on Tailspin. Same style though. You wouldn't have had these grooves.
Didn't I?
No, that's
Jeez,
a real
I must be
Holden
getting
groove,
old.
those ones.
I must be getting older.
I was having a look at this yesterday, and what got me is the boot. Like, check out, it's all painted. Again, the polishing part of my brain just goes, oh man, that's a lot of work.
It's a serious amount of work, isn't it? And that's the thing about when you get show car people looking at stuff, it's all those little details.
Yep.
That's the make or break. When you get down and the judges have got to pick one,
when it's coming down to a couple of points.
Yep, they've got to find something different. Well, not different, something special about the build.
Bit of innovation, something different, something you hadn't thought of, no one else had thought of.
That looks to be a lot of engine stuffed into a little car, doesn't it? 5.8 litre fuel injected V8.
Supercharged. Haven't seen too many hot rods in here this year.
No, there hasn't been many the last few years actually. Now, I've been watching this one get built as well. So this is deluxe, so this is one of Steve's own cars. And he's been at this for a while, and it's very much his style. So Steve Aldrich He's only a young bloke still, but he's done a lot of cars and he grew up around it because I used to compete against his dad, Ray
I
Aldrich.
nearly bought one of these as my build. It was sitting
Did ya?
on the side of the road in my bureau, so I'm going to go and buy that. It was off a great farm, and when I looked in the back, in the tub, you could see it all the way through.
So I said to Steve the other day, have you built more cars than your dad yet? With a bit of a smile on my face, and he had a bit of a laugh because Ray's still doing a few cars in his 70s now, so us old street machiners find it a bit hard to stop. Very nice classic build, that. And I'm thinking it's like restored class, like what do they call it here? Authentic.
Yeah.
Best authentic would be the class for that, I would imagine. Right, eh? So this one must be a bit serious, Kylie. When it came in, all the wheel arches were taped up. It had plastic on the rims and everything. So someone's been watching
Yeah.
how to get in without having to have to do too much work when you got in the haul.
Yeah.
One of the issues is you can clean and clean and clean, and then you put it in a trailer, drag it here and drive it sometimes across pretty average bits of bitumen and dirt and stuff to get in the haul, and then spend another 2 days trying to clean it again. We tried wrapping the tyres on Bosx E, but it makes 770 foot-pound of torque, and all it did was turn it off straight away, just spun the plastic off the tyres.
I think one of the scariest moments we had in Tailspin was the tyres were glad wrapped, and we went into the Victorian Hot Rod Show on the polished timber floorboards and started to turn, and the car just didn't. It just kept going, and we're going, oh my gosh, we're in a historic building. Please don't hit this pillar.
Looks like the centre lines are making a comeback. I think it's 3 or 4 sets.
Yeah, it's good to see. I love the pop of orange on this.
It's very orange, isn't it? Vinyl roof.
It is.
It's almost a matching trim. Those were the days. Creme. Right, I'm going to turn that music on again in a minute, so I better get on with it. What do we got? Nice XR, XT. Amazing, everything's got lots of horsepower. Righto, so we've got something special coming up now. So most people would know the name ROM Barlay, and talking about competing against people, Ronnie and I in the 80s, to some extent the 90s, he had the Ute and I had the Fairlane. We were tripping around, and it's called Plain Jane because that's Ronnie's nature, I guess, and that's the way he's always built his cars. He had a hot rod that he built the same way, and it's like, the way I look at it, if the part was in the design studio being designed before it went to production, this is what it would look like. And every little item you look at looks like the way the designer wanted it.
It's all the subtle modifications on this one that, unless you sort of know, you don't notice because they've just done so seamlessly. So like radiator support bar, chassis rails, all been welded up with plates and everything to give it that RHS look. But
still
it's
factory.
Not. But it's factory, and then it's painted satin, so it looks like it was always like that. But it's just a
Uh,
lot of work.
I know Ron had these wheels on his hot rod. No, the old no centre cap look, a wheel nut with no cover top. You know, that's just classic ROM Barlay. And this car was at MotorX. It hadn't qualified, so he was in the elite class and won top paint over all of the superstars. So the issue Ron has now is what class does it go in?
Yeah.
And then he's always going to be limited. I'll be interested how it goes because he's going to be limited because the judging here has a lot of points for innovation and a lot of points for modification, engineering. So if it's pretty much stock, where do you get your points from? So that's, you know, and like if you look at something like what we did with Tailspin, we chased points with modifications, where this is the opposite. So it's always going to be a hard chore.
Hard to compare them.
Yeah, and when you put them in a hall and say, well, the judge has got to make a choice. So when you look at all of this, it's all factory, but better than factory. So how do you judge that against
Modified.
not so much Tailspin, but the newer cars that have all got computer fabricated
3D
parts
printed.
and 3D printed
CNC,
and all.
Yep.
And the poor old trim judge has got to make a choice. So, yeah, another stunner by Ronnie, and of course it's on the cover of Street Machine magazine at the moment.
December, 2024.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, this one I was telling you about last night with that sort of classic fuel, classy look with the black roof and then the orange around the, I don't know if I call it orange. It's like the trim colour on the outside.
Yeah,
you know, bring
tan.
the outside to the inside and all that sort of stuff. And that's the sort of stuff from a judging perspective that the judges are looking for, innovation. And the innovation can be just having that change of pin line, but also the change of headlights, and then this fabrication on the front and the underside of that bonnet is like unbelievable. Check out the fape under that bonnet.
Whoa. Yeah,
Morning.
okay.
Good.
Right. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's
So the difficulty
didn't
when you
expect
do that is you've got to do a lot of welding and gluing and whatever you do with it, and then still have the outside good as well. So straight away I can see this car achieving a lot of points in a lot of areas, even though it might not appear to be overly modified. So the treatment of the door handles, the drip gutters, the mouldings.
Yeah, I've seen that brown from the inside of the car coming in through those mouldings too. It's
Even the
just a
tail
nice
shaft
highlight.
and the diff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not so much the diff, the engine I was looking at when I said diff, and then all the back painted trim colour, but painted, and once again it done extremely well. So this might be a little bit of a dark horse, this one, I think. That's the steering wheel you're looking for, mate. Flat bottom,
Yeah, that's it.
Chevy looking steering wheel.
Yeah,
Nice
definitely,
car.
Definitely liking those flat bottom steering wheels at the moment. They look good and just make it so much easier to get in some of these cars where you got big legs.
Oh, another Torana. I'm sighing because it's early in the morning. I've been going 45 minutes. Camera's heavy. And I'm trying to get ahead of the music because they're going to turn it up loud in a minute. It's just going to make Louise's job a little bit harder.
This is Stephen and Helen's Torana. This is the local Canberra car. He's also got a black two-door hatch as well that's usually in the hall. But this was built as Helen's car, the wife's car, but at the moment she's working for Summernats in customer support this weekend, so she hasn't had much time to actually spend with the car.
Very nice build, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's the way Steve works. He treats everything. It's great.
It's got the big diff with the big aluminium centre. It's obviously making a bit of power as well. Pro 71. I like number plates that tell me what the car is.
You should know what the car is with the shape of it.
And it's vinyl roof, Go Fast wheels, and a big set of Brodex rocker covers. I'd say that's a lot of cubes by the look of the width of it.
Certainly looks it, doesn't it?
So either wasn't planning on being here or was not fussed. No ropes, no mirrors, no signs. That's me driver.
Yep.
That's it. That's how Lee is.
Now, not sure what the go is here. This might be a original cop car. Not going to get too carried away there.
Reject in 1972.
There you go, Fuzz is on the job. Now this one's out of Shepparton, Southern Rod and Custom, and everything that I've read about this car's fully engineered, and he drives it everywhere.
Yeah, that's impressive. Watching
And
what
that's-
Southern Rod do on social media, I believe it.
And that's not bag, that's ride height with full travel. It's got
Yeah,
travel, so
yeah.
well, I've seen it driving somewhere since I've been here. I know it was out at Scrutineering or somewhere. I've seen it drive somewhere. Righto, got a couple of rows to go. Man, look at the length of that. It's one hell of a way to haul your car around. So I'm not sure whether the wagon's in the top 60 or the truck, or both. Let's go to parachute on the truck. Another one with a parachute, Fuzz. Me and Fuzz always have a good laugh at cars running around Summernats with parachutes on them. Don't quite get that. Another one, Paul Beck must have a good eye. This was at Killer Rides, and he knew the whole backstory on it. It's a guy that's owned it a long, long time. Very traditional pro street feel about it. Obviously had to change the wheels as well. So if you're watching this on Friday or Saturday and you're thinking about coming to Summernats, if you haven't got your ticket, you're probably out of luck because they were 90% sold last night. But yesterday, when Fuzz and I left at 5:30, we cruised out and felt a bit like 10 years ago actually. It was a good feel, plenty of noise, plenty of smoke, plenty of action, but they've changed security companies this year, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of federal police in here as well, and it's I think a good thing for the event, and I think the event's going to go in the right direction provided everyone behaves themselves the next couple of days. 24s must be the thing, mate.
Yeah.
It's a nice coat of paint on that. Looks like it's glass, I reckon, like the glass bead, like your car.
Yeah. That's what you're using in yours too, isn't it?
Yeah, on the panel van. It's got a very similar Bosx E but in a green. So I read a good story about this one. The seat, the guy that owns this has got something to do with the bed side of things, and the back of this is actually like electric bed modified, so that when you go to the drive-in and sit in the back, the bed, it's all adjustable.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I like this look. I'm trying to work out what to do with mine, but I like the fact we've got the seats and the stubby holders, so if you're down the beach or you're at a car show, Cars and Coffee, you can sit there and put your coffee there, or if you're out with Fuzz, you've probably got to put your beer there. Very cool build.
We can do that now that we've got a beer sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. Set of classic with 15-inch wheels.
I was watching this come through yesterday when they were setting it up, and just the support team behind this car, and everyone was getting in on it. It's just, It would have been, I don't know, it looked like 10 people just working on it, each had their role, just setting it up, and it's just good seeing everyone working together.
Even the subtle things like having a look at the flooring, see how it's like a sand and it's got the waves at the back and the seagulls and tyre tracks. It's cool.
Right, God, what's this thing?
I don't know. Can't tell if it's coming or going.
We've heard all the stories.
If I had $1 for every time I'd heard that, we'd have built another car by now.
So one thing I would say to people, if you want to try and build something really different, have thick skin.
Oh yeah, it's a love-hate car, and we're good with that. But it's been good to have it back this year. So many people have come up and said, "Oh, I actually haven't seen this car in person," or "It's good to see it again," because it hasn't been on show here since 2018. So nice to sort of dig it out of the garage and bring it back.
So we built this over about 5 years
It was
Finished.
3.5, just under 4, but a lot of hours.
Yeah, from when we first met to
Oh,
discuss
planning.
planning and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we
then
did spend 18 months planning.
Debuted in 2016,
Yep,
and 2017 was Grand Master.
that's the one.
And Adam and Kylie get it out on the odd occasion.
Yeah,
It's on
look,
full New South Wales reg.
yeah, it's all fully engineered and road legal, so we can drive it to the local shows and things like that. It certainly spins some heads when you're driving it down the main parkway here in Canberra and people just don't know what it is.
Just lift that boot up for me.
Inside here, I've probably got my cleaning rags, but you get the idea. It's like all compartments. That's our inverter, so we can run the car lights and everything when it's on display. We can plug it in and the battery's on the other side.
And it's got full spare wheel with jack and everything all
Yep.
under the carpet and everything. So it's we're sort of built as a user, but we, as in most builds like this, it progressed and then snowballed and turned into this.
That's it.
So I'll be interested to see 9 years on where it falls on the ground. This show with so many new cars.
Yeah, tough competition.
Wowza, look at that.
Yeah, I don't want to ever have to polish the roof on something like this. How would you get there? You'd need to suspend from the roof Mission Impossible style, I think.
It's Kylie always thinking about how do
I know,
polish,
always
how do I polish
polishing.
that?
Everything I think of is how do you polish that?
I must admit, I don't have the love of these that a lot of people seem to have. They're very unusual and obscure styling and
I
taste.
don't think I'd own one, but I just like the
It's
look
cool.
of them.
Yeah, it's just
It
cool.
is cool.
I can't get it in the screen. I'm walking away trying to get it all in there. Righto, pro. So they've had a bit of a change with the judging categories this year. I noticed there's about 3 pro classes. Like as in, instead of the old pro street, there's pro sedan, there's pro
Yeah, okay.
something else and something else. Because some of the old classes don't seem to be there anymore. Retro Tech's not there anymore. I'm going to have to go back to school and have a read of
What they've changed
what
up
they're up to with
classes.
the judging side of things. I mean, primarily it's still the same people. Drago is head judge and Owen's head steward and all those sorts of things. And a lot of the guys that are judging now have been judging for a long, long time. NOS. So nitrous or new old stock?
So this is another one out of Pat's Pro Resto. So that
Oh, is it?
really sort of shows his diversity.
Must be busy boys up there. And girls, I imagine. Don't want to leave the girls out, do we, Kylie? We get in trouble.
No, that's right.
So there you go. This is another one of the centerlines. I spotted this one yesterday. With a 502.
Again with the satin treatment under the bonnet.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have
Engine
to
bay.
polish too much under here. Bit of bling. They've gone the wrong side for the trim. I'll have to go back over there. Looks like a lot of satin paint in there as well. So the whole judging thing's always interesting because you can build a car that you want and you like, but if you're trying to win trophies, then you need to think about what the judges want and like and what the category that you're trying to compete in, that the expectation that you would have, besides what you may personally like. Because sometimes they clash and people will go, oh, you know, I've done this and done that, but if it's not, doesn't fit in a category or it doesn't tick all the boxes on the judging sheet, you're going to struggle to get the maximum points.
A lot of detail in just the exhaust, like where they've run up and the bracketry and
Yeah, the loop.
the loop.
Yeah, so engineering wise, that's, you know, that's another section and different points. Got to love a set of centerline, a set of hot wires on a Torana, don't you?
Classic.
Mr.
It was funny, you watch the guys walking around, they're like, just said, oh, you guys getting judged? They'd be wandering around trying to work out who's in the 10, who's in the 20. Look at that, that's near perfect timing. The gate's about to open, the roller door's going up. So
2 cars to go.
there's no massive crowd out there though, but won't be long and we won't be able to move in here. So this car's been cleaning up at the Van Nationals.
Yeah, this is Gary's
Every year.
car. It's been built for lots of years. I think he was telling me that he last had it at Summernats here back in 2017.
Oh, right.
Because we were competing against him with tailspin.
Okay.
But a true home-built car. He's done everything on this. But it's just such a tidy little van.
So I'm heading off to the Van Nationals. Fuzzy's coming down to Mildura.
Yep. Shit on.
So we did 78 Van Nationals.
78, 79.
I reckon I did 77. Look, Heather wasn't allowed to go. Dad wouldn't let her
Yeah,
come down because
that's
she was
right,
only
yeah.
17 or something. And the following year, I don't know if I went, did we both go that year or?
No.
I think I went, and then
you
the
went,
following year we
yeah.
went down and camped on the oval and run amok, had a bit of fun.
Pretty wild weekend.
So yeah, we'll be back there to have a look. Got our accommodation booked. For a change, Fuzzy's only got to do 300 Ks and I've got to do the 900.
A bit of role reversal.
Payback, yeah.
Well, I think we've got them all. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll get this up as soon as we can, and I'm going to cover the street side of things, and we'll go into Braddon tonight or tomorrow night and cover that as well. And hope you enjoy what's there, and don't forget to comment, kick the like button, down subscribe. I don't know, what else, Fuzz?
We've lost Adam. He's gone.
Adam's gone, he's had enough. Here he comes. He must have been having a look at the Ford.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, everybody, and as I always say, bye for now.
Bye for now.
See ya.